Good morning, everybody. It's 11 o'clock. Welcome at your weekly coffee break with Diver. This webinar is an initiative of Dimensional Insight together with its European partners, DBI, Infotool, Bimaxis, and Integral. During these short weekly coffee break webinars, we will show and explain existing or new Diver functionality. My name is Lieven Schellevis and I work for the European Office of Dimensional Insight. And today I'm very pleased to introduce you to your presenter, Debbie Lonsdale from DBI in Ireland. She works as a consultant in multiple industries such as distribution, leisure industry, and she has more than 10 years of diver experience. Debbie's presentation will take around 15 minutes, and afterwards there is room for a couple of questions. You can ask your questions using the Q&A panel at the bottom of your screen. If there's not enough time to answer all your questions, your local contact person will contact you after this webinar. So, it's time to start. Grab your coffee. Debbie, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Lieven, and good morning from a beautiful sunny Ireland. I hope you're all keeping well. Following on from last week's excellent session from Sean Foden on the DivePort DIUX, this week I'm going to be showcasing the features of DivePort design and navigation portlets, plus some tips on speeding up administration of the portal. The skin I've used is the beautiful DIUX. I just want to stress this is not an example of a cohesive live analytics portal. It's a DivePort environment that takes a look at portlet types and shows you how each can be used. So there's no overall design as such in this tour, nor is it an under the hood training session, but I'll be showing you lots of options for achieving your display or navigational requirements. Any further help can be found with your local consultants. So how can you help the user to focus more effectively on the data they're seeing, highlight what it can tell them, and also navigate more easily around the portal? Let's find out. The first navigation portlet is the logon portlet. Now, this might look slightly different to the logon portlet that everybody normally is used to seeing, because I've actually created a welcome environment here, and I've added the logon portlet to this page so I can customize it. What I've done here is I've changed the look and feel of the logon portlet itself. I've been able to add some information for contact details and a face for someone, that when they're contacting, so they can't log in, they can actually see this page before they log in and they know who they're contacting. I've also added some images to give it a different look and feel and make it a little bit more exciting for the user who's going to log in. I took 9 images and copied them around the portlet multiple times, and then I took a screen grab of the whole page and created just one image, shrunk it down and replaced all the 36 image portlets with just one, so it doesn't use as much memory. So that's a tip. So I'm going to log in now. So that's the first navigation portlet. When I get into the first environment, this is actually showing you the menu portlet. It's showing you different buttons which lead to all the different environments on this portal, and I'm using the icons that are provided with the DIUX package that we'll be giving you the download details to later. So here I'm going to go into the DivePort features environment, which will now lead to another page with another menu portlet, and all these buttons lead to different pages and even different menus. And it's very simple to set up. Obviously, we can help you with all the technical details later. The first page I'm going to go into here now is called a scorecard page, and it's something that you design yourself around the measures you want to show the user about a particular person or group of people or a region, something like that, where you've got one page that is devoted entirely to that person. The reason I'm showing you this is because I want to draw your attention to this top left-hand corner where I've got an HTML portlet which shows the actual salesperson themselves. So when you're a sales manager, for example, you might not remember 100 salespeople by name, but you might remember their faces more easily, and it just draws your attention. So if I change this using the quick view, I get the details of another salesperson and it's immediately obvious who it is. Also on this page, we have chart portlets where you can see in more detail, you can draw attention to particular data sets and data points by the tooltip here, and it works the same with the other types of pie chart, etc. I've also put a little image icon here, and when I click on this, what we do is we provide documentation for our applications, and you can put the documentation page for a particular page on each of the pages that the user will be looking at to explain how to use the reports. Obviously, this doesn't relate to this particular page because it's a demo, but this page is out of one of our actual manuals. So navigating back or home, I just click up here, and I'm just going to show you how, when I set up a new DivePort, I use the DIUX help features, and I take, say, the HTML out of the HTML text file, and I create a page that I can use anywhere in the portlet. Sorry, anywhere in the portal. So what I've done here is I've cut the text out of the HTML text file, created all my HTML portlets that I can copy around the whole of the portal. And this one is a bit like the one you just saw. It doesn't work off the quick view. It's just working off the macro for the username. Back again, I also, as another tip, would create this just once, and I can bring it and import it through to any portal that I'm using. I've created background portlets with all of the different colours that I've taken out of the skin, so that I know exactly what the skin colour looks like and what its RGB and hex codes are. I can copy them anywhere around the portal, and I can look at what the indicator colours are and change them should I have to, sort of upgrade a skin to a different skin. I know what the indicator numbers are, and these just show you the grades of the gradients of the colours. So this panel here starts with a light grade at the top and goes to this dark grade at the bottom. And if you notice on the title, you might not have realised it starts with a very light colour on the left and goes to a darker colour on the right, and there are those two colours there. What I've also done is I've customised the DIUX skin. As Sean told you that it could be done last week, so I've proved a point there because I have one here. I'm just going to go back to my original environment. And also another little tip that I've done here is I've created an image portlet with a click action. So that's another way of navigating. If I click on this, it will actually open in a document viewer the whole of that PDF that comes with DIUX. I'm just going to F11 now and go back to my original page and back to the menu again. So into another tip. We have all of these icons, and it's a little bit of a pain to go onto the server or back to your desktop to look at what icons are available. So I've pasted them all in image portlets here, and I can now go and choose what icons I want to use anywhere in the portal, and they're all in my environment that I keep for my sort of administration of the portal. And I can just go and choose any of the icons to use in the menu portlet. So here we are now back to some of the portlet types, just F11. These are all the different types of background portlet. So you can see there's lots of things you can do with them. You can have them in different colours, different shapes and sizes. They also create text, and text in different directions and different types of font. You can get arrows diagonally, horizontally or vertically, and the DIUX panel. I also have the snap to grid working on this page. This is just a feature that you can turn on or off and set a grid in the background that doesn't show to the user, so you can easily line up any portlets you have on a page to get them all looking neat. Back to the home again. Now we're going to go into some image portlets and show you how you can use images to help the user focus more easily on what they need to be looking at, and also how to navigate to other pages or other websites even. So in here, I just want to show you, first of all, you can use customized images in the menu portlets, and I've done 2 here just to show you. In the first page I'm going to show you, I want to show you the difference between using a hotspot to focus attention and a link portlet. The link portlet is just a simple portlet down here, which would, if I clicked it, would lead to a web page about dogs' eye afflictions. But if I use an image, I'm not suggesting you use dog images in your DivePort, but it's just to show you the feature. I can click on certain areas of this picture and I can get click actions on a hotspot, and I can click on top 10 eye afflictions in dogs, and I go straight to that page. The other thing that I could do is have an infographic, and I get the same effect. I've got lots of areas here that I could have hotspots. I've just created a couple. This time, instead of going to a web page, I'm going to go to a report about whatever I've clicked on, so water there, or blood, and that's just a click action to another page in the portal. And it's kind of a lot better to draw attention by using features rather than just a plain boring link portlet. On the right hand side, I've used logos to actually indicate what the case study is that you will find if you click on that image. So at the bottom here, I don't know if you can see, there are 3 different types of click actions for document delivery. You can display as a pop-up, in a new window, or download. And this is clicking on any part of the portlet, not like an image portlet where you click on a hotspot. So it's still an image, but it's on the portlet itself. If I click on the Kellett group, I can go into a case study, and there you have the case study, and that's a document viewer. So if I go back out again, F11, and another little thing I've done here is to create a bit of fun at Christmas. If you want to get your sales teams competing with each other over Christmas sales, for example, you can put a page up like this, maybe on a wall display. And if you click on the 1st of December, you can see how you're doing, revenue month to date. And I've used an image here, but I've overlaid a chart portlet which matches in with it quite nicely. And then I've put some indicator portlets on these different pages at the bottom. So it's quite fun to just have a bit of fun at Christmas or something like that. Okay, so the next one I'm going to go into is to show you just some indicator styles. I think we've all seen these. I don't really need to go into much detail, but it's just to show you the scope that you have. You can change colours, sizes, types of indicators, and also you can show different ways of looking at the data, the same data in different ways. The one thing that I'm going to show you here is also you can change the date and go back in time, and some of these might change. Not much difference there. Anyway, yeah, this one's changed slightly here. So the next one I'm going to show you is the way that we could format the measures portlet using indicators. And also what you can see here is I've used the HTML portlet that I showed you at the beginning, where I put a background on certain columns to make them stand out, which are the change columns. I've also shown you here how you can use currency formatting, percentage formatting, and thousands formatting. Another feature I have here also, which I have on most of the pages, is if I click this little icon, it will take me to the web page on the help in Dimensional Insight about the particular feature I'm showing here. So I've set up that on some of the pages. So back again. One more thing I've done for you today is to show you that that's how I would probably format the page at the top, but you do have the option to show all of these other ways of formatting a measure portlet. Sorry, I just clicked something there. You can use different colors, different sizes of font, different currencies. You can have self exceptions there. You can have different arrows, squares, and I've even made an image indicator there as well. Where are we now? The wall screen display. Now this one isn't going to be a DIUX type of page, but it's just to show you that you can make something of a wow factor for a wall display, say in a call centre, where you want the call centre people to know where you are against a particular target. And so today's variants on target were up in bed, nights, conference, covers and spa. If I'm in a different region, using the HTML portlet again, I can change the background image of the hotels in that particular region, and you get a nice change of image. And if you have that on a big display in the office and it was changing automatically, with embed equals true in the browser, you'd get rid of the title bar here and you'd just see this nice big image to get people interested in what's happening with their sales. The next 2 pages, or actually 3 pages, are very straightforward. The mock-up portlet is just to show you that you can do a mock-up of how you want a dashboard to be laid out using mock-up portlets, and you can just share that with the user and say, is this where you want this, is that where you want that, and they can agree it before you go to the trouble of actually creating the page. The web page portlet does what it says on the tin. I've just embedded our own website in here, and it's a live website. You can see here is the videos page of our website. You will be able to see the video of this webinar on here in the next few days. The slideshow portlet gives you the opportunity to share slides like a PowerPoint. And now we're on to the final section, which is the navigation portlets. We've already covered the menu portlet. Here's the table of contents. A simple one would be just the little tabs going across the top of the page, which will take you to a different report in effect. So we're looking at sales year to date, then we're looking at sales month to date, and units year to date, units month to date. If I just go back to the next page, which is a more complex table of contents, we've also got we have the horizontal tabs, but we also have the vertical tabs. So in this case, I can go along the top as before. I can change the time series, and I can also change the dimension using these tabs. So we get, in effect, 12 pages of different data. If I now go and just to show you that you don't necessarily have to do that, you can still use the ProDiver marker technique where you can change the period using quick views, their list quick views. So if I click go now, I've gone from revenue year to date to month to date units. And on top of that, I can also change dimension here to sales region or say salesperson. The very last page I'm going to show you is another navigation portlet, and that's the sitemap. So this is just one portlet which gives you a sitemap of the site, and I can go to any of the pages. So I'll go back to the beginning and I'll go to the scorecard. So that's the whole of the tour that I wanted to show you today. I hope it gives you some ideas, and obviously, as I said before, you can get in touch with your local consultant for help, and there's plenty of help in the Dimension Insight website. Okay, so now I'll just go back to the PowerPoint and we'll trail what we're doing next time. Hold on, if I can get back to the PowerPoint. So you've probably finished your coffee. I haven't had a sip since I started. And this is what we're doing in 2 weeks' time. There's no session next week because it's a holiday in Europe. We have Gunilla Gustafsson from Infotool in Sweden. She's going to be following on from me, still on DivePort, and she's going to be showing you data portlets. And she's going to cover charts, indicators, maps, measures, quick view, and new animated charts. Thank you very much for listening. Leaving back to you.
Thank you very much. It was a very good presentation, I think, Debbie, and you surely know how to make an attractive dashboard. We have a couple of questions.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Yeah, we have a couple of questions. First question comes from, let me see, Emma. She would like to know, how easy is it to upload images?
Well, Emma, it's quite simple actually, because in the image portlet GUI, you just have to click to go and browse to an image on your own machine, and it uploads into the image, and then it's stored in the DivePort web data images folder. But there is another way of doing it. If you've got a lot of images and you want to upload, say, new icons, you know, a whole batch of new icons, if you're a developer or if you know a developer, you can go into Workbench and you can just copy a whole load of images all in one go into the same folder, and it's all there for you, ready to use.
Okay. Then a question from Adam Wood. I will read his question. With the graphs or reporting tools, can you drill through by clicking the output on the report? So bar chart with daily sales versus region, as an example. If I click on the bar chart for one reason, can I drill into, can this drill into more options?
Yes, you certainly can. Click actions on bar charts and any of the chart. Well, if you do it in ProDiver, you can click to anything else that you want. Maybe someone can help me and just give me a bit more information about the chart portlet itself and drilling through the chart portlet, because I haven't done that as much as I've used the marker portlet and use that to drill. But there may be someone else who can help me today, or we can come back to you on that, Adam.
Well, there were a few more questions, but I will share them with our local distributors, and they will contact you to answer those questions. I want to thank you all very much for participating in this second Coffee with Diver webinar. So as Debbie mentioned, next week on Thursday there will be no webinar because of Ascension Day, and that's a holiday in many European countries. But in 2 weeks' time, we hope to see you again at the webinar presented by Gunilla Gustafsson from Infotools Sweden. So until then, have a great day, and well, get another coffee if you need one, and see you soon.
I certainly do.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.